Taking over this town.
What's up, Mason here on the Synthedelic channel. This time it's going to be a Pantera tone, Cowboys from Hell. This is one of my favorite albums. It's one of the reasons I play guitar in the first place. This is the third time I've tried to sit down and record this video. The first time, I just didn't really like the tone that I ended up having. Second time, the video wouldn't transfer over to my computer, so I couldn't do anything with it, so I had to redo everything. This guitar was also just a nightmare to get working for this video. In between the Vulgar video and this video, I replaced the pickup. 2, I took out the sustain block that was too big. I think I realized that this was what was causing a lot of my tuning issues, and I put the original one that it came with back in there. It's a lot tinier. I had to use all 5 springs just to get this thing somewhat flush with the body. I had to re-intonate everything. The whammy bar was all loose, so I had to tighten that up too. But the hardest part was just doing all that and maintaining the same strings. So the third time was the charm. I recorded the sound demos, and now I'm sitting here doing the walkthrough. Hopefully it goes smoothly. I know for this album that Dimebag used a RG100 head, the blue rack-mounted Randall amp. The same one he would end up using on the Great Southern Trendkill. And I do believe he was using a Bill Lawrence. As you can see in this guitar, I have a Bill Lawrence in there. It broke for a little while, but now it's working good, and I really like the sound of it over the Dimebucker that I had in here before. And as with all Pantera tones and most tones on albums, every single tone for each song on this album has a different sound to it. Some of them sound like they're coming through a tube a little more, and other ones sound a little deeper, closer to what Vulgar Display of Power sounded like. Like if you listen to Clash with Reality and Shattered side by side, they sound drastically different. For my sound demos, I just left the mic in the same spot the whole time because it sounded pretty good, and it's pretty much directly over the cone. So here's what the main patch that I have sounds like. also made a version for the Strat. I just took the one I had and changed it a little bit around for this. So maybe a lower output pickup, not as crazy as the Bill Lawrence. Maybe it'll sound better for you. And here's what that sounds like. I'll also include this clean tone. I made it for a previous video, but it's pretty much the same tone that you would be using live. But yeah, that'll be included as well. So for this tone, you're going to want to start with a sneaky amp. You're going to start with T-amp lead. That's the one I used for my previous Dimebag patch. And with 52 in the gain, 67 bass, 39 middle, 44 treble, 55 presence with a vintage cabinet resonance. This is the basic starting sound before I add any effects. And as always, I'm using my yellow system EQ, which is this right here. It's going to be chain 3-2. For the booster, I have the Senta OD, my favorite, as always, with the drive at 44, the tone at -6, the bottom at -17, and the effect level at 91. And with that, it's adding a lot more distortion on top of it. In the mod spot, I have a graphic EQ with this like M shape, sorta. I'm boosting up 16K to get more of a sizzle in there, and 2K because that's the harshest frequency that I hear in the mix from Cowboys from Hell. And with that, it's a significantly more tighter. It's a little honky now, mid-heavy. In the effects spot, I have a parametric EQ, low cut at 100, boosting up 125 Hz by 4 dB with the Q at 16. At 630 Hz, I'm taking away 6 dB with the Q at 4, and the high gain's on -3. This tames the mids a little bit. In the first delay spot here, I have my version of the MXR doubler. I read online somewhere that the doubler delay time is anywhere between 11 milliseconds and 22 milliseconds, so I went with 11 milliseconds, and I think that sounds the best to me. And since I have this on chain 3-2, so this delay is coming after the amp, it's not going to add any distortion or anything. It's going to do more of like a flanging, subtle flanging effect. Here's just that. I'll play both at the same time and roll one in so you can hear both. I am not using the second delay. I am using the reverb set to spring, oddly. Reverb time as low as it can go. Room reverb and spring reverb are the only two reverbs that cut off immediately when you stop playing, the same way as if it wasn't a reverb. But I find that the spring reverb sounds a little closer to what the tube-like sound effect is on the recording sound like to me. Here's just that spring reverb. And I'll do the same thing I did with the delay. I'll roll in the direct mix. I'm using the solo for the solo EQ. I have the level on 10 for this one. I wanted a little bit louder of a volume. You can turn this down, it really doesn't matter. But I have a low cut at 63. I'm taking away 6.3K by 4.5 dB with the Q at 8. No high cut. I'm boosting the level up by +1. It's taking away specifically the super sizzly frequency that is 6.3. Wrong album. In the contour, I have type 3, which is different for me. I usually have 2. But this album isn't really, it's not deep sounding like the Black album is, but it is still scooped. So I'm using type 3 with the frequency shift on -29. Here's what that sounds like without it. Very subtle, but it is changing it. In this first EQ spot, I have a low cut at 80. I'm taking away 250 hertz by 4 dB with the Q at 4. At 500 hertz, I'm taking away 5 dB with the Q at 8. A high cut at 12.5, and I'm boosting the high gain by +1. With that, it sounds like this. In EQ2, I have amp out parametric EQ, boosting the low gain by +3, a low cut at 100. I'm taking away 630 hertz by 6 dB with the Q at 4. At 1K, I'm taking away 9 dB with the Q at 4. This is what's doing the main mid scooping. I have a high cut at 12.5, and I'm boosting the high gain by +1. And that is the tone. Noise suppressor is on 50, release on 0. I know Dimebag didn't use a booster unless it was for like solos, but that was mainly toward the Damage Plan era. But the Katana just doesn't act like a Randall at all. If you boost this gain up, it starts to blow out and get boom, 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 way more than if you just pair it with a booster and go for a similar distortion type with less gain. But yeah, that's the Cowboys from Hell rhythm tone for the Katana. Now for the lead tone, it's basically the same patch with just a couple of things changed. It's still the same chain. The booster has a little more drive. This graphic EQ is the same. This is the same. I have an analog delay with the delay time on 163, feedback on 22, high cut at 6.3, effect level at 40. I have reverb set to spring. I just think it sounds good. I'm using the solo, same thing again. Contour, same thing. Everything is the same for the most part. I just increased the middle a little bit. And the noise gate is slightly down. And the last tone I'm going to show in the video, all of the tones I made, my entire panel for my Katana is full of different versions for this tone. I'm going to include all of them in the download. I have this CFH V intros. This is like for stuff like... It's more so for the intro for Cowboys from Hell. Here's one of the earliest versions of the tone that I was doing. I don't like this one that much. I mean, it's okay. They're all going to be in the description. You can play around with them, have a lot of fun with them, do whatever you want with them. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully the tone sounds good for you when you download it or copy it. I added 2 new shirt designs to my shop page. The Synthedelic bucket hat and glasses combo, and the Evoke Emotion Play with Tone shirt. Both of these I designed myself. I also got one of my stickers in the mail. It came out pretty good. I'm probably going to put it right on my amp over there, right in the Katana. I think it came out pretty nice. You can find this on my store. So let me know what you think of the tone down in the comments down below. If you thought it was pretty good tone, leave a like on the video. With this tone, I think I got closer to the Vulgar sound than I did to the Cowboys sound. They're very different, and I think that the Cowboys sound is just a little more unpolished. Maybe. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until the next one,